Hey folks, Mysterious JG here. Sorry about that last video. I went way long. Normally I would have, when I noticed I was that far over, I would have just played for another 15 minutes or so and split the video after the fact. But with the new setup, like, I'm not really post-editing videos anymore. It's kind of sweet. Um, but it does make it more important that I pay attention to video length. Or that I'm willing to fall back on, excuse me, doing that, editing videos after the fact. Check it out, guys. We got the best business ever. I don't know why I felt the need to jump back there, except to show the our expected. Like, we make $200 million or million yen, which I guess is like $200,000 every. Is it a week? Is it a month? I think it's a week. Yeah, it's like 4 business periods, and then I guess you have monthly shareholder meetings. I don't know, but oh, we can hire up to 50 employees. I did not know that. Right, whatever. But yeah, our annoyingly, we can't get a good weapon. We can't get a good Nagitana for Psycho. And I do want her to be in the matriarch job until she learns the skills. So she's only got to level up a few more times. So she might not be as useful in this next chunk of story, but I want to push forward anyway. So let's see when we can actually get Naginata, because if we can't get them, like, it's not that useful a job if you... Oh, never mind. We're continuing on. I saw a clan crest or something I want to check out. I guess we're not voice acting yet. Hey, on tower, huh? Pretty fancy spot. Think they'll treat us to a meal? Maybe we can get Peking duck. If that was the case, you wouldn't even pass the dress code. Well, says you. Are you dressed significantly better than he is? He slaps her. The slow turn. I really had this sudden strong premonition that he was just gonna haul off and slap her in the face. Just slowly turns without a word. Snap. I mean, that is not Kasuga. Like, nothing about that is Kasuga. Hitting a woman, but still. Huh? Why? Besides, it says right on the door, no Yakuza or ex-Yakuza allowed.
For real?
Seriously? It was a joke, dummy. But we're not here to eat, regardless. Don't tease. I never come to these kinds of places. I never get to come to these places. What about me, though? Would my clothes pass? No, they wouldn't. Like, you know that. You are dressed less good than either of them. I'd say you're in the same boat as Ichiban. I knew I should have changed to my funeral outfit. Hey. As I was saying, we're not here to eat. Guess not. Shall we then? None of those people are... No, they're not going into that restaurant. Fancyland, USA. Save, it's the wise thing to do. The wise and talented
Nobody's here.
Zhangwei.
You sure this is the place?
Are you sure we're voice acted now?
Are you scared? Don't be so wimpy. I thought you were a cop.
What the fuck is wrong with her?
Ago. I'm a driving instructor now.
I'm a DMV cop.
Daki-san's just allergic to fancy restaurants, that's all. He's a man of basic taste.
A man of the
It's
people.
true. I only ever go to fast food joints.
I'm trying to find little kids who are all by themselves.
Also true.
Right on time. But everyone's already inside, waiting for you.
They were fashionably
Well,
early.
we weren't late, so you don't get an apology.
And I wasn't expecting one.
Well, good, because you're not
Thought I'd let
getting
you
one.
know. Of course, now you're making them wait further.
And who is them, by the way?
Oh, the
We'll
giant
see.
ants.
Go in, please.
Yeah, no, they're
There's no need
giant
to
ants.
worry,
That's who's in there.
Kasuga-san. You have the Jungihan guarantee that no harm will come to you here.
Oh, great. I just
I'll
spent a
have
whole
to
video
trust
trying
the
to
guy
buy a
who
new
was
weapon
pointing
for
a gun at
Psycho.
me just a few hours ago.
Yeah, well.
But now we are outside the bounds of the Great Wall of Muscle. That changes things.
Muscle power no longer holds sway. He is no longer number one. I guess that would be Ichiban is not number one.
Come in.
It really sounds like it's coming from the
Here
can.
we go.
I don't know, something about that way that voice sounded like she was calling out from the can. See, he's not dressed up real fancy either. Is he going to be dressed extra sexy or not sexy, or what is it going to be so... Oh, is it going to be... I thought maybe George Takei will be in here.
Yo, Kasuga-kun. How you doing?
Well, I guess we know all these people already.
And
Yeah, we know all of these people. I mean, I forget half of their names, but... I'm cranky Japanese guy.
Hey, what's up with the old guy?
Watch it. That's Ryuhei Hoshino, the Seiryu clan chairman.
I can understand... Wow, she looks really surprised. Weird thing to say, but yeah, like, you gotta remember, I've been playing video games since playing Combat with my sister, where I always wanted to be the one big plane and have her be the three little planes, and couldn't understand why the one big plane's giant blasts weren't effective, because it didn't matter which of them you played as. But yeah, I'm really impressed by how good that face looks. But yeah, I was blown away when I first played Mega Man, in that he blinked if you didn't move him often enough. But anyway, like, I can understand her not recognizing the head of the Yakuza, but how could she see who she knows to be the head of the Chinese Mafia, and who she knows to be the head of the Korean Mafia at a table, and have no clue who that third person is, and it simultaneously not occur to him that even if she doesn't know he's the head of the Japanese Yakuza in town, she'll still jump up and say, "Hey, what's with the old guy?" out loud.
What? But if he's here, then that would mean they're...
In cahoots, yeah.
yeah, the Aging 3.
Sounds like
All the leaders gathered in the same spot.
I've been watching... I got the subscription to Funimation so that I could watch Dragon Ball Super. I think I've mentioned that. So now I'm trying to get my money out of it, so I'm watching Yu Yu Hakusho, which I remember liking when it first came out. The Ijin 3 sounds like some group that they would have to face on Yu Yu Hakusho. The Toguro brothers plus somebody else, the Ijin 3.
Kasuga, think you can tell us what the hell is going on here?
Why would he know? Alright, we decided to kill Naba. Yeah, of all of these leaders, the one who... Oh, well, never mind, we're on a new slot now. But the one who already seemed to really dislike you is the Yakuza leader. He seemed like he wished he had people like you in his organization, but you made everyone in his organization look like assholes, and he kind of hates you for it. Chapter 8, Bleached what? Bleached whale? Bleached black. That's not really how bleach works, but okay.
Please, step inside.
My raincoat.
Hey, aren't these three supposed to be fighting a war?
Supposed to be.
I'm sorry. I know I picked up a little bit of information I shouldn't have, but it's already been made really clear that they're all working together on this counterfeiting thing, hasn't it? Didn't like the Koreans... Maybe the Koreans are supposed to... Maybe we're supposed to think they're monitoring the other two, but yeah, we've already established that there's more than one of these gangs is involved with the counterfeiting.
Kind of a weird place for us to meet, Chairman Hoshino.
Oh, it's a fancy
Especially
Asian
considering
place.
the three of you look more like you're ready to have a tea party than tear each other's throats out.
Well, we could tear each other's throats out.
Usually we meet only once a year, unless there is a need to share information face to face, as we must now.
Usually we tweet.
We always do what it takes to keep the Great Wall intact.
Lest the Mongolians invade
Killing each
Yokohama.
other out there. You don't want to stop them?
Stop them. 2 of my youngest men were gunned down without mercy. Liamang Turf's been raided right up to the perimeter of their base. There's
All
no
their base aren't
stopping any
belong
of
to
it
us.
now. At this point, whoever retreats first will have lost the war. I can't lay down my spear until that happens.
But when I do lay it down, you can use it as a naginata.
Same deal for me.
So then why are you two here? Gonna decide the war over a game of cards?
No, shogi.
Not the worst idea.
We were thinking of holding a
What the
Gundam
fuck?
tournament.
People are dying!
People
And
are
meanwhile, you
dying
three are
every
just
day.
hanging out playing nice? Think your men would approve?
Well, no,
Do
but
any
they
of you
don't know.
even care what your own people think?
Apparently not.
Kasuga, there's no need to throw fits about what you don't understand.
But what would I ever throw fits about then?
Do you know right now Captain Takabe is Zhao's prisoner?
I don't care.
Prisoner. We're treating him more like an uninvited guest. Honestly, I'd let him
Oh,
go if
well.
I had one good reason to. I just don't, that's all.
Weren't we supposed to be getting evidence of his innocence?
So you're going to sit here and do nothing? Just let the chips fall where they may?
That's
Psycho
how it
Adachi, you guys
needs
want to
to
throw in?
be.
A bunch more pointless deaths is how it needs to be?
He really doesn't approve of the way organized crime functions. He's like, he is the holier-than-thou organized crime guy.
Not pointless. Our men's willingness to fight is the entire reason we're able to serve as checks on each other. As long as the
like
triangle
nuclear deterrence
remains
here.
balanced, it can hold firm against outside pressure. It's much like how Japan established separation of powers after the end of its dictatorship. It's not perfect, but it's the best solution we have. Do you see the logic there?
I don't actually. One of the big, maybe, you know, if I'm wrong, explain it in the comments. I mean, you know, Bobo, let me have it about it. Do was that this Let's Play? Anyway, might have been a different Let's Play, and he didn't let me have it. He just explained I was wrong, wrong. But no, here's one of the big logical flaws I'm seeing. The whole premise here is that these three powers hold each other in check, and if any one of them was to fade out, or any one of them was to become dominant, it would invade larger outside forces to invade. The idea is that none of these three criminal groups are powerful outside of Yokohama, but nobody else will come into Yokohama and try to take over the business there, because they know that to do so, if they did so, the three groups already there, who are kind of in a Mexican standoff, would unite against them. I don't understand that part. The idea that if anyone else tries to, no one else will dare invade, because there's already three groups here that will unite against them if they come in. If one of those if one of those outside forces is as powerful as two or three of them put together, which seems likely since none of these three groups can really take full advantage. I guess we're finding out they can, because they're kind of secretly working together. But like, if you're on the outside, you're like a mafia group, the Omi Alliance or whoever. You control Tokyo. You have business interests in Osaka and Kyoto and whatever. Like, Yokohama somehow is outside of your control. And maybe that's not how it's meant to work. Maybe the Omi Alliance is only supposed to be in Tokyo, but in the Tojo clan or whatever. But like, if your whole deal is that these outside forces are bigger and stronger than us, why wouldn't they come in with the hopes that like maybe they'll unify against us, but maybe we can get at least one of the three to work with us instead of against us? And like, this whole notion that they have to maintain this balance in order to protect all three groups from outside invaders doesn't make any sense. And I just remembered I meant to keep this video short, and I'm going into long pauses, so that's not good.
Oh boy, a post-war history lesson.
Can you tell us about separation of powers some more?
What? That's what you're comparing it to, right?
No, I just didn't know you were going to talk.
Because it's relevant. The post-war period is when the town's lines of power were drawn.
Well, yeah.
The black market was born from the ashes of the war. It laid the foundation for modern-day Ijincho. Back then, the
Ancient
Seiyu
Ijincho
clan
was
was
really
thriving.
totally different.
But in Chinatown, two rival Chinese gangs were competing for dominance.
The Chings
Winner
and the
of that
Chongs.
fight-
Sorry. This long-standing joke from when The Rock was cutting a racist as fuck promo back in the 2000s. And like, apparently nobody thought it was racist at the time. Nobody seemed to mind. He was a guy, I guess he was feuding with Tajiri, and he kept saying ching chong, as like, that's the way Tajiri talks, ching chong. That was the thing that happened. The Rock would probably rather you forgot about it. He also sung a parody of La Bamba to Eddie Guerrero. But yeah, this wrestling website I used to work for, I used to write for this like wrestling site where, you know, different people wrote articles and had fun. And because of The Rock saying ching chong, we all grabbed onto that and held on to it for a while, even though the rest of the world forgot. And at one point I was describing playing, I was like, is in a post saying that I was going to play Dynasty Warriors 5 over the weekend. So I was like, yeah, I'm going to got Dynasty Warriors 5, so I figured I'd order some takeout, ching a couple chongs. That was my term for playing that video game. And it just came back to me. So apologies. But yes, it was saying a ching and chong together is, in my mind, I know it sounds like I'm being a racist asshole, but it's just a callback to this joke where The Rock was being a racist asshole. Let me move on, because, god dang it, I'm never going to finish this video at this rate.
Prospers in Chinatown to this day. The gang that lost became the Yokohama Liuman. They were driven out of Chinatown and into Ijincho. The Seryu clan wasn't about to take that kind of invasion lying down.
I should have been paying
For
more
a
attention.
time, the gutters practically ran with Liumang and Seryu blood.
But then the Koreans
Gonna
showed up with
lecture
their
until the
secret
bell
matrix
rings,
room.
Professor?
You want to understand what's going on? Then you need the history, you smartass.
Okay.
If you want to understand the fake money, that is.
Well, it's money that
Seryu
isn't real.
clan knows about that?
Yes.
Yes!
All the fake money printed by the Komi Jewel goes through me.
Okay, I guess in fairness, we had established the Chinese and the Koreans both had a part. We hadn't yet established that the Japanese mafia also knew. But it can't be that surprising, because the entire story seems to be about how these three groups are all basically facades and are all working together, but only the top leaders seem to know.
But doesn't that mean the Seryu clan is the real puppet master behind all this?
No, the real
How do
puppet
you
master
figure
behind
that?
this is Kevin Sullivan.
Mabuchi started
Games Master.
forging Chinese yuan, sure. But only because of the counterfeit yen. I think I'm starting to figure all this out. The Liumang brings in the paper. The Komi Jewel prints the bills. But then, the Seryu clan keeps all the profit? Wait,
What the fuck?
are you all in this together?
Yes.
Kasuga-kun, calm down. You're jumping to conclusions.
They're the correct conclusions.
Because I'm
but still.
pissed off right now. First I'm kidnapped, accused of being a Seryu Yakuza,
When I get angry, I jump to conclusions.
then blamed for being the spark that ignites a war, nearly killed over Namba's thing. Now I'm here with the Ijing Three, who, by the way, don't even give a shit about the war. Tell me, why should I calm down?
Because people can hear you. We get
And you,
Rice
with
paper
your damn
walls.
Seryu clan, you're the one getting the most out of this.
look at that great haircut
No.
you got out of this.
Because we're not the final destination of the fake yen. That will be Yutaka Ogikubo's pocket.
Okay, never mind. He's not being framed. He is Mr. Evil, this politician guy.
I saw his name in an article. He's some big shot in the Citizens Liberal Party.
Yeah, it's really impossible to read the dialogue right now.
Three of you are working together to support him politically? Why?
Because he thinks he's going to make Japan great again.
Suddenly my history lesson seems relevant, doesn't it?
Well, I'm not going to
Fine.
continue.
On
Yeah,
with
yeah.
Ogikubo is the man who proposed making fake money in Ijincho. This was 60 years ago. He pitched the idea to the first Seryu chairman and first Liumang boss.
He even pitched inventing a Korean mafia.
Suggested committing federal crime to a bunch of gangsters? For real?
For real,
At
though?
the time, Ogikubo was only a member of the city council.
But he was
He
especially
saw the
corrupt.
fights breaking out between the long-established Seryu clan and the newly arrived Liumang.
I was going to end this video early to make up for the last one going long. That is starting to look less and less likely.
He understood it was, in essence, a turf war. Knowing that, he looked
He
for
gave a
solutions
Cyrus-style
without
speech
bloodshed,
about
solutions
turf.
that would save lives. And eventually, he managed to find an answer.
Fake money, of all things.
He stopped us all and said, "Can you count, suckers? The future is yours if you can count."
Industry, which in this case is, yes, fake money.
Trade, industry, tourism, all coming together in
Ogikubo
Wisconsin.
split the roles up evenly. That way, both organizations would have a common goal.
Not
The
being
Liumang
taken
would
over by
import
secret
special
Koreans.
paper, the Seryu clan would print and transport the money.
How did Ogikubo know the counterfeiting process?
He didn't at first.
Well,
But since
why
he
would
had
need to?
faith in his plan and a desire for peace, he used every single
Let
connection he
there
had
be
to collect the
peace
raw
in Yokohama,
materials.
and let
plus
it
the recipe.
begin with counterfeiting.
Counterfeiting wasn't that difficult back then. Currency didn't have all the security features it has now.
We were
It's
printing
only
money
gotten
with pictures of
harder
Art
over the
Linkletter
years.
on them.
But anyway, after the first batch was printed, Ogikubo used it to bribe the cops.
Then he needed to bribe the gremlins, so he printed the new batch. I'm funny.
The cops? Not the Seryu clan or the Liumang?
There would have been no point in paying off those two. That conflict goes deeper. Ogikubo understood that.
Because he took my history lesson.
Why give it to the police?
It wanted
Even
to
the Air
control them, of
Force
course.
DMV cops.
In the blink of an eye, they became his loyal servants. That ought to surprise no one.
As mindless zombies.
How corruptible law enforcement tends to be.
Cops
Anyway,
suck. The message of
Ogikubo
Yakuza.
had his new minions in uniform crack down on one certain region of Ijincho.
Well,
The homeless
that
camp.
doesn't sound like such a bad thing.
Well, it kind of does, Psycho,
making
because
the
he was
city
clearly
safer, right?
favoring one set of crooks over
That
another.
was just a side effect of what he really wanted. To squash every attempt by the Seiryu to drive out the Liuman. All police resources were dedicated to that one goal.
Oh, so
They
he was
created
picking
a
on.
tiny pocket of Ijincho that was essentially violence-free.
I bet that worked out great for the Liuman.
Violence free. Like at one point, some guy got drunk in a bar and he was about to take a swing at somebody, and he was frozen in time by the force of nonviolence.
Oh, and you're the sharp one, I take it. Yes. That zone became the Liuman's
Sarcasm.
home. So there it was. A place controlled by a criminal organization, but with low crime. The first gray zone.
Oh, Bleach
And
fans gonna
Seiryu
get pulled
clan
into this
just
now. Are they
accepted
part of the?
that.
Are they
Why
also
would they
part
give
of
up
the
their territory
counterfeiting?
and all its income streams like that?
Because they were getting continuous payouts from the counterfeiting operation. And that
Okay.
wasn't the only thing. Anytime one of us did something that normally would have landed us in hot water, Ogikubo would contain it. He
Man,
kept
we
it
were
off
raping a
police
lot.
reports. That kept us from losing men to the law. So there were
Some
plenty
good
of
old
benefits for
boys.
us.
Hardly
All while
meaning
we
no
kept
harm.
our honor.
Well,
This
not
Ogikubo's a pretty
really that
shrewd
honorable.
guy.
He just used some old tricks every politician knows.
And managed to not get caught.
Perhaps. But do you understand now how we benefit from him?
Yeah,
Wonder now.
yeah, I get
Is
it.
for you?
And my people reap those benefits also.
Yeah.
In the 80s,
Shut up.
the Komijul was saved by the Ijincho Gray Zone.
How?
Our parent organization was the Jingon Mafia, which formed decades ago in Korea.
And it's part of the plot of the game that
Even
had the
only a
secret
few
Koreans I'm
years
always
ago.
joking about.
He was a body double for their leader. But every time the Jingon Mafia got crushed,
I think that's like a joke. Like I think that character. I don't know the Yakuza games that well, but I think like this character looks exactly like a character from a previous one, and now they're saying he's a body double. But that I might be just completely inventing that.
some of its people would drift to Ijincho. My mother was one of those. I was young when she brought me here. Ijincho
That's
was a
still
breath
hot.
of fresh air after living so long under their ridiculous code. More and more people heard about the relief we found here, so more came.
They didn't mean to, but the news he covers.
Then our safety was threatened by something else. As our numbers grew,
COVID.
so did our clashes with the Yokohama Liumang.
You started fighting them?
Not outright.
Well, yeah, they're
Ogikubo stepped in
mafias.
right before a real war erupted. He brought us a
See, he's
proposal
secretly Korean.
that we take over the Seiryu's counterfeiting business. It was an offer of steady income and safe territory. How could
So
we
the Seiryu
refuse?
got carved out of this. I think I'm
In
confusing the
return,
Seiryu, like who the Seiryu actually are. They are not the like are they the clan that like grumpy guy in the samurai outfit belongs to? I'm not even sure
Form
anymore.
the surveillance necessary to contain the secret. That's how
The
we
secret is
started
that
to
if you
build
wish
a
for something
system
hard
that
enough,
now
you'll get it.
monitors every inch of Ijincho. It became our way to contribute to the smooth running of Ijincho, alongside the Seiryu and Liumang.
So that's the origin story.
Okay,
behind
so
the
they're not
Eugene
replacing the Seiryu. The
movie.
Seiryu are the guys who
Ever
are already
since,
in. Got it.
we've all supported Ogikubo. And he supported us in kind.
He's just
He
a
used
great
the
guy.
huge streams of money from us to secure his seat at the helm of the Citizens' Liberal Party. Now, no one in the cabinet can speak against him.
But they get
After
disappeared.
masterminding a way to bring peace to the city, he moved up in the world.
He's going to create
There are worse ways to
three-way
climb the ladder.
mafia wars and
But I can't
non-wars
ignore
rather
it.
in every
It's still a cover-up.
every
Really?
city.
So you would say even perfect results don't matter if the methods are flawed.
Oh,
What
yo.
about the police themselves? What about their alliance with all the Yakuza which grew from the scorched earth of post-war Japan? Light and dark joined hands to rebuild, and that's how we got where we are today.
So why do you need to convince the
Can't
airport
deny
cop of
the
this?
ends justify the means.
Oh yeah, well I don't think the ends justify the means. See, I denied it.
What does it even matter what happened? Who cares about that stuff right now? It's all in Ijincho's past.
What really matters is Nanba.
Is its future. So why'd you call us here? What do you want?
To kill you. Really? What's the Engine 3 gonna do with us in Nanba? This could get ugly. Yes, it could. Alright, I think that is a good place to call it, because now I'm kind of in suspense, but I am also at a point where I need to stop recording for a bit. The next time I record, it's going to be this game. So, last video went like almost 20 minutes long. This one's going to end about 4 minutes early. That makes up for it, right? I don't know. Anyway, it does seem like 3 ostensibly ruthless mafias, all of their lives would be easier if they just killed Ichiban, and yet they won't do it. Why? Because he's a hero. When we come back next time, I really don't know where the story's going anymore. Other than the fact that we got to try to find Nanba, I really don't know what we're actually heading towards here, because they have established that, like, there's a decent, not that I think it makes a lot of sense, I think it's a bit forced, but there is an equilibrium here, and we're the ones messing it up. I guess we'll find out more next time. Possibly even how to get a Naginata, but probably not. Bye-bye, guys.